19. Our next speaker is the Head of Business Development from DGX. Please welcome on screen, Shaun. Hi, Shaun.
Hi, can you hear me?
Shaun, just a second. Yes, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Hold on. I don't know why earlier the video, the host has stopped the video.
Okay. Just give us a second. Let the Exabytes team fix that.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So how are you doing today?
Good. Getting ready
Alright.
to present. Just need to resolve the video issue.
Yes. So just waiting for the update from them. Would you mind trying again now? See if it works.
It still says you can't start your video because the host has stopped it.
Okay. All right. So to the Exabytes team, once again, let's fix that little problem. Just give us a second here.
I'll
So
tell
the
you what.
Exabytes team, we need to enable video sharing for our panelists here. To the rest of you who have just tuned in, welcome once again to Digital Day, the new normal for professional service firms. And if you have any questions for our speakers or panel discussions later on, don't forget to leave them in the Q&A box. And you'll realize that you're actually muted by default, so you can still talk to each other. And of course, just leave all that in the comments and make sure you leave your questions in the Q&A box. That's the most important thing.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Hi.
All right. Hello.
Hi. Okay. So how are you doing? I already asked you that already. So have you had breakfast?
No. Normally I skip breakfast in the morning, so it's okay.
Oh, okay. So you're like me. But do you drink coffee or tea? Because apparently we've had this ongoing discussion since the last event.
Coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So you have 20 minutes, but no pressure at all. So go ahead and set up your screen.
Okay. Hold on, I'll just share.
And take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. Hold on, trying to share my screen.
Yeah. It's right beneath your screen. It's right next to the chat button.
Okay.
Share screen function. Yeah. And the video is off. Let's just give Shaun a couple of seconds here. Sorry for the little technical issues today. I know we've had a couple already this early in the morning, but you know, with Wi-Fi and bandwidth, it tends to happen, especially when you're streaming live. All right, Shaun's back. Shaun, I can't hear you because you're actually on mute.
Okay, I'll just present the screen.
Okay, fantastic.
You all can see the screen, right? Okay.
Yes.
Good. So what I'm presenting today, I'm Shaun. I'm from Digi. I'm part of the team from DGX. So DGX is a venture builder team and the innovation team for Digi. So just on the topic today, Digi's BCD Playbook. Now, what is BCD? BCD is a very simple term, business continuity digitalization for the new normal. Now, where we came out with this is because we saw that during or even before the MCO, we knew there was a need for a business continuity plan. So the whole business continuity plan was to adapt the ways of how we work when we know the pandemic or the MCO lockdown was going to hit. So I'll just run through it. You know, Digi itself, it's a brand that is synonymous to connectivity and solutions. So on the solutions part is where DGX sits. The rest of the whole of Digi, what we normally do on connectivity, it's the big brand itself. So what happened during the MCO or even before the MCO, Digi actually went and embarked on ensuring a continuity plan was in place because we started to split the teams between working from home, working from office, and ultimately everyone had to work from home. Social distancing in play, as well as the impact to the business itself. So when we went ahead and did the whole business continuity plan, we looked at 5 key areas. One was definitely sales. That was where the revenue is. marketing, which is the communication, workforce management, which is all our employees, right? Security, because the more you work from home, the higher the risk of information, as well as a lot of the sensitive internal communications were at risk. And then how do we shape and grow coming out of MCO, right? Now, this is a very good question. Who led the digital transformation? I'm sure a lot of you have seen some of these memes on social media where people ask, what leads to a digital transformation? Was it a CEO, CTO? And then the joke was, it was actually COVID-19. So, Digi's focus for more than 100 days since MCO was 3 core areas: protecting its employees, right? Protecting the customers, as well as protecting the business. Now, you can't really say there is only one focus because all 3 has a balance. I'll share with you on what we do, all right? So all 3 areas that we have, from employees, customers, and business, we had to do 3 very important things. We had to rethink the way we shape our organization. We have to think about recovering revenue. And most importantly is what happens after MCO. We have to think about rebuilding the whole operations of it. Now, what Digi does in terms of meeting all these goals? Rethinking organization is really about how do we think about communications, engagement with our employees. How do we recover revenue? Definitely business will be hit. So how do we go about driving the business going in, right? So then rebuilding operations itself, it's how do we come out of MCO unscathed, hopefully, and then continue to build from there what we have adopted during the 100-odd days period. So we had to rethink the organization in terms of who we are and how we work. So Digi in itself, we have always been very quick at adapting to technology. So we had to assess who we are. Are we in retail? Are we in online? What do we do, right? And then from there, we started to look in tools on how do we continue to operate without really impacting too much on how we do our daily operations. So in terms of deciding on who we are, we had to reiterate and engage again and again with all our employees what the company identity was, and then what the company stands for, and then does your leaders, does the team have a sense of purpose, even at a time where it's most, I suppose, uncertain, and then does your team have a common performance culture? So the performance culture is basically how we align all of us, all 1,500 of us, into a common goal, right? So we had a refresher class on company strategy. I think this is one of the most important portion in terms of our whole business continuity ready program, where we need to make sure that everyone was aligned on what we want to achieve, even when I suppose the MCO started to have lockdown, things were uncertain, everyone was worried, job security. We wanted the whole company to still understand and want to work together to achieve the company's strategy. So how we did it was, we made sure we had refreshers, we used technology, we had video sharing, we had a lot of remote discussions using Microsoft Teams. That's something we adapted late last year. We also had a lot of reinforcing of strategy using an app that we created. I'll share with you a little bit on the app that we have created and how you can get your hands on it, and something I can leave behind to all of you before I leave the seminar. So what happens is, even in an app, we made sure that all the information for strategy is readily available to every employee within the company using the Omni HR. So we also had the videos going in. So sometimes reading about it is not as efficient as seeing the CEO speaking the strategy to you, or the heads of each individual division, how they would want to shape the company on how we want to keep track of what we do, right? So then deciding on how we work, does your team know when to use multiple tools? Like what do you use as an immediate response tool? What do you use as a project tracking tool? How do you go about ensuring that your people who's working at home don't get burned out? Because the expectation is wrong if you think everyone sits 24 hours behind the laptop. So you have to make do with some areas of planning time of response, right? And where is the single source of truth if all your written work, your tracking of projects need to sit in? So does your team know how to distinguish between what is urgent and what requires real-time attention, right? So we had a very calm way of addressing communications. So we split it into 3 ways. Chat, we're using Slack, WhatsApp for immediate reactions. We have an email, so within the single day or within 48 hours, we respond to it. And then project track is to monitor together as a team where we want to take each project when we're working on it. Sorry. Just a checklist for you guys, right? So is your company strategy documented in any way? Whether it's text and video, is it readily available to all your employees? And if not, why? So do you engage with people who, when they work remotely, is there a one-to-one dialogue on a regular basis? How do you engage them? How do you get them to speak back, give that feedback? Because a lot of people have concerns during this whole COVID-19 or MCO lockdown, right? Do you engage your people? Well, is being digital a part of your strategy? As well as do you check in without having meetings, right? How do you do that? So I'll share with you a little bit in terms of the end of the seminar. So recurring revenue, I'll run through this pretty quickly. We identify and prioritize revenue opportunities. What doesn't work, we have to put it in KIV for the moment. And how do we adopt an agile operating model? So there are a few, there are 10 areas. There's so many things to look at, but there are 5 areas that we really keep, really focus on. So one of it was actually on automating the processes for salespeople to sell more. How do you do that, right? We digitize sales channel. How many sales channels is bringing in revenue? We digitalize it with social media as much as possible, with tools as much as possible. We equip every employee to sell anytime. So how do you sell your services, your product, almost engaging customers on a regular basis, even if you're working from the comforts of your home, right? So we have a lot of webinars, we have a lot of training, we have a lot of Facebook posts, even going into Instagram, any social media, smart mobile tools to help engage customers. So anywhere from retail, customer service, even project management, engaging with partners, all of these were done remotely. And then we started equipping everyone to sell using Omni HR. So Omni HR is not just a HR tool to keep track of our employees or to address certain concerns. We also use it to upload a lot of our plans, any changes, any announcements. So our guys can go out there and share what they see as new from the company to peers, to partners, to associates. We also track all calls remotely using Omni HR. Omni is also another tool that is something that we push to the market as much as we can, because this tool in itself tracks call activity. So if you're running a sales organization or customer service organization, how do you remotely track who calls? Was there important customers? How do you prioritize? On weekends itself, do you pick up calls? So Omni is an automated virtual PABX office system, right? To help you keep track of all this. Okay, it also has an interactive virtual receptionist to basically create areas where your calls or your customers' calls go to the right people, right? So again, a little checklist. Who owns the customers, whether it's a company or an employee, how do you track them? Do you feel detached from the business? If the customer cannot reach you in your, your usual business locations, does your business have the tool to keep customers engaged? Okay, do you track every opportunity? And is every person in your company empowered to sell the message, sell the service, sell the product? So the last one, which we really worked on, was actually rebuilding operations. So we embrace a lot of as a service kind of setup. So we started to outsource. We started to bring about working with partners to bring a lot of the services that we don't need to manage and use those workforce. Help the businesses out there, like SMEs, to work on things like, well, saving, conserving capital costs, so we don't have to invest, there's no capex involved. So we push everything to a service. We also determine which is important, how do we prioritize areas that we want to outsource, and then we turn cost centers into profit centers by also selling our service to customers, right? So we use a lot of this in terms of our partners, whether it's designing presentations, whether it's hiring staff, okay, whether it's basically doing companies' COSAC services, as well as office supplies. So we push a lot of this to an outsourced environment. So the future of work is also another area. I think we can't escape the fact that there is no proper vaccine today. How long will you see these new ways of working? How long do you think this will continue? The MCO, will it come back? And then how much trust do you place or empower to your employee? So these are all questions that we have to answer as an organization to push, right?
Shaun, just to cut you off here right now, do you think it would be possible for you to stop sharing and reshare? Because we've got some feedback from our attendees here that the slides have kind of hanged a little bit.
Oh, it did? Hold on.
Yeah, so sorry. And a lot of them can't see that. It's okay.
Okay, let me just try to reshare it.
All right, so for those of you in the comments, do let us know if you can see the slides moving.
Okay.
All right, can you guys see the slides now? Let's give them a couple seconds to reply us.
Sure. Oh, if they need to see the slides, right? All of this is actually recorded into, I'll give them a website and then they'll be able to access the slides.
All right, fantastic. And of course, this whole video presentation and the slides will also be made available on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. So don't forget to follow us on all our social media accounts for the latest updates and news. Apparently, they say it's still stuck. Oh dear.
So sorry. Not sure why that is so. So
it's fine on my end. It's just that some of them are having this trouble. A majority actually.
Wow. Okay. I'm not too sure. Could it be a connection issue?
All right, guys, do give us feedback on whether you're able to see the slides and if everything is working fine on your end. Do let us know in the comments right now. And for those of you who are watching on Facebook, hello as well. If you have any questions regarding Shaun's topic, don't forget to leave them in the comments. This is specifically for Facebook. Leave them in the comments and our Exabytes team will forward them to me.
You see?
And for the rest of you, let me see.
Sure.
We have no updates yet. I think they're still struggling. So might I just remind you guys that if you have any questions for Shaun, for those of you on Zoom, don't forget to leave them in the Q&A box. It's right underneath your screen. Go ahead, click that, leave your name and your question, and we'll answer it. Okay, the feedback from them says that you can't see the slide, still empty.
Right, I'm gonna do it again.
Okay, let's try this again. So time's the charm.
Do they see it now?
All right, guys, let us know. Okay, they said they can.
All
right,
okay.
Perfect. Continue.
Very good. So, okay, just want to run through this really quickly because I noticed that I'm running out of time soon. So, for things like documentations, we use PandaDoc for electronic signature, so we don't have to worry about currying it, getting it signed, currying it back. So we cut down a lot of time for this. We use Zapier to zap a lot of the actions needed, like inquiries from customers, going into our website, going into our online sign-up page, right? We create leads, we generate a lot of opportunities, and we basically update our guys to act on it using things like Zapier through Slack, right? We also, again, use Omni HR, a tool we built ourselves to track things like attendance, working from home, what time we start, when we went for a break, and then how do we track productivity at home with the tool. So again, questions that we normally ask would be, how do you keep track in a time like that? How do we keep track and scale productivity of your employees? Do we leverage on enough digital tools to help? Have you started automating any of your manual processes that takes a lot of time for you to react? Are you aware of productive hours that you're losing compared to the manual work? And then, is digitalization a big headache for your business? Do you know how to do it? Okay. So that in itself, these are the areas where we normally talk to customers, understand a little bit. And if the checklist is something that you have less than, I would say, 50%, then you definitely need to relook at the business. how are you going to plan for the next 18 months if this continues, right? So I think one of the few things you can consider today is 3 actions. Think about the connectivity that you have with your company or your business setup right now. If you are talking about connectivity, we should look at not just in the office workspace, also a stable connectivity in your employees' environment if they are to work from home. And then what kind of digital tools do you have to accelerate things like adoption to enable a survival of the business, right? How do you communicate with customers today? Do you have something automated? So this is things you need to consider in digital tools. And then the support, how do you refocus digital efforts to reflect changing customers' expectations? That means today I can't see you. How do you go about communicating to me and still get me to discuss business with you? So if you are unsure on what action to take, always reach out to us. We have the tools that is made ready. And I like the fact that Jesse shared earlier, and that we are part of the TSP. It's called Technology Solutions Provider. It is also applicable for the SME Digitalization Grant if you're looking at adopting a few of the digital tools you want to use to improve the business, right? So if anyone wants to use the slides or see the slides, or you want to basically view a previous edition of this BCD sharing, you can actually go down at www.dgx.my on the BCD. So this BCD program is actually in conjunction working with MDEC for the TSP SME Grant Drive, right? Before I stop this, I want to offer you guys this. Now, go to this website. This All HR tool I was talking about and sharing with you guys over the past, I think, 20 minutes. We have decided to help SME or any companies up to 50 employees to use All HR tool for free until the end of the year. So if you're thinking about adopting any tool today, time to look at the most important part of your business, the people. So this is an area where you should think about adopting and then start using it for free. And if you don't like it, or you want to stop using it and basically cost will become a factor, then you can always terminate by December. Okay? So this is what I leave it for you guys. So the website is down there. Search us out. Sign up for it. Okay? So that ends my...
one more question. How do we get in touch with you? If any of our attendees have questions for you personally.
Okay, on my side, I think I will just key in my email so you guys can email me directly. Okay, and I'll get the team to work on it if your company requires anything for it.
All right, super. Now, you guys, if you have any questions, you can take 1 or 2 right now. Leave them in the Q&A box. But thank you so much, Shaun, for your input on BCD. It was very interesting to listen to. Let's give them a couple of minutes to leave their questions if they have any. But for those of you who are wondering if you can get these slides and videos, once again, they will be made available after our webinar ends. All you have to do is check out our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and they'll be right there. Give us some time to sort it out, of course, because editing does take time. Okay, so I don't think we have any questions for now. Let me just check Facebook here. So Shaun, what are your plans for the rest of the day after this?
Oh, we are running a few projects actually. We are actually doing webinars for more than 12 sessions throughout the year, up to the end of the year. So we are also talking about things like the new normal, digital ways of working. How do we help, I suppose, communicate even on weekends with businesses so they don't lose opportunities. So there's quite a number of things lined up. Right. One of it is actually to enhance digital workforce through the new normal. Yeah.
I see. It's pretty busy. Like things have gone back to normal for you, I can assume. We have one question that just came in.
Yep.
So this one is from Huai Siu. I believe I pronounced that correctly. So let me see. Is the alternate HR able to link with the accounting cloud software? I think I read that correctly.
Okay. I think all HR right now, it's you can think of it as 2 ways. There's 2 streams to use it. One, it could be a standalone software. It will have its payroll feature coming in before the end of the year. But for now, you can use it as a complementary software to what you have today. Integration will have to depend on the kind of information you want to be input into, say, your accounting software. It's also API ready. We just want to make sure that we need to understand the software you're using today before we talk about integration, right? Yep.
All right, thank you. I hope that answers your question. We don't have any more for now, so I think we can wrap this session up. Shaun, thank you so much for joining us here today, and I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors and the busy day you're going to have ahead. But feel free to stay on if you like. Thank you once again. Let's give him a virtual round of applause. Shaun, I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Exabytes. Grow your business online.